to have a board of trustee member to give the report. And Surgeon, what was the name again? Coleman. Okay, yeah. Coleman will receive the award on behalf of him and the department. That's right. All right, so First Responder Hero Award in appreciation for the heroic act on April 1st, 2021 by putting your life in peril while saving a person and protecting your colleagues while on duty. Our Blackout College Criminal Justice Program awards Officer Andrew Walder from Rock Island Police Department. His portfolio is full of a great job. So the submission, is done by a student, and he said, a few years ago, my cousin had a mild seizure, and Officer Lawler was the first person to respond. I like to think, I think his heroic action saved my cousin's life that day, which has allowed me to continue seeing him grow up. So, and also Officer Lawler has been selected as a Hero of Police, and he received a distinctive award with Knights of the Columbus Officer of the Year from his department. He's a K9 operator working for the police, Rock Island Police Department for 10 years, and is a member of Tactical Operation Division at the moment. Again, it's one of many of the service that we provided, and recent responding incidents help us to select him as a first responder hero. So this says the certificate, and I want to thank you, Sergeant Cole, for being here and accepting these awards. And again, it's not just him; it's a team and a department, all the police agencies and fire and dispatching all are making them together. And thank you for being here. Thank you for service, and please stay there. Okay. All right. So in addition to that, we received a nomination from Galesburg Police Department, Police Officer Chris Barbour, right? Did I say right? Beaupre. Yeah, Beaupre. And Dr. Bush, can you help me to give this award? So on Sunday, what was the date? Can you remind us the date of the event? March 14th, 2021. He was on the routine patrol when he found a red Ford Vision stuck on the train track west of the Academy Street and First Street. He immediately called the trains on the track stop. The driver, who has still in the vehicle, showed sign of alcohol impairment. Told officer that he had missed a turn and got stuck on the track. So officer was able to save him, making the situation in a better condition. Would you like to tell us about the incident, if you want? Like, say more about the thing that you have done.
I was on patrol, and I observed a vehicle. There's a gravel lot and then a train track. I saw lights there. I noticed that a vehicle shouldn't normally be there. I observed that it was actually on the tracks, and I radioed to stop all trains. And when I got there, he said he'd actually been there for about 15, 20 minutes trying to get his car off the tracks. The frame of the car was actually sitting on the tracks. We ended up getting it out. He was under the influence of alcohol. He was subsequently arrested for alcohol, but he was actually sitting in the car when I got there. And when we were talking to him, a train actually came up and was able to stop less than block away from where the car was. So if it was any later, then his car wouldn't be there and possibly him. So
yeah, thankfully you were there. Thank you. Thank you for the service. So our next recipient is not being here, as far as I know. Any person is not going to be coming from Muscatine Fire Department. Is it? Oh, you're here. Okay. All right. What was your name? So Michael Collins. They said that you're not going to be coming. Great. Okay. So way better. All right. So who can help me to do the learning? Yeah. All right. I will have the other side, please. Okay. So, firefighter Michael Collins. He's been a firefighter working at Muscatine Fire Department, and on the day of April 8, 2021, he pulled a woman from a fire building and brought her to safety, which directly resulted in the life-saving activity. So, would you mind telling more about the events? I wasn't prepared that much since you were not coming, but thank you for being here. Yeah.
We were dispatched early morning for a house fire just around the corner from the fire station. On arrival, we made entry to the house like normal. When we got to the second floor, I heard a woman moaning and kind of coughing a little bit. So used the thermal imager and was able to locate her within a few seconds and brought her out. So.
All right. So it's a luck for the lady, right? Thank you for being there. Thank you for your life and endanger the risk situation. And thank you for coming here. Yeah. Okay, so our last recipient is from Davenport Police Department, Greg Behning, Lieutenant. And I see my department chair there, Marcy, if you mind. Let me. So Lieutenant Behning is working for the Davenport Police Department. And this award is for displayed act of valor in the line of duty, trying to protect his fellow officers during the riot on May 31st, 2020. He was part of the three officers who were ambushed and shot while patrolling on the streets during the riot, and he was able to help them to get out from this situation. So save his colleagues and himself, and be able to hear. Right? You don't want to mind saying something about
Sure. So that was a Sunday, went into a Monday. 2020 was a bad year for law enforcement, obviously, with a lot of the George Floyd and a lot of the civil unrest. No different in the Quad Cities. We experienced in Davenport that particular Sunday night. I was at home, like most of my guys. We ended up getting called in. And by the time we get in there, what they talked about earlier with the network of first responders and it being a family was absolutely evident. We had guys from Scott County there. We had dispatchers got called in. We had Rock Island Police Department at our door guarding our station. So things that have never happened in my 27-year career. And as events went, we had a lot of shots fired calls that night. By that time, we had one homicide and another shooting that we expected to be a homicide. We had other shots fired going off throughout the city. And about 3 o'clock, myself, my sergeant, and one of my detectives were all in plain cars. And that time we were in one truck. We went down an alley following a couple of bad guys, guys that we thought were involved, and they were involved in shooting at Neckers. That was almost a homicide. A little bit of cat and mouse. It's how surveillance kind of works in plain clothes. But we end up coming through this alley. The cars are parked on one side of the alley, trying to figure out exactly what's going on, and all of a sudden we just get lit up with gunfire. I think there was close to 50 some rounds fired. I think it was 18 or 19 that hit the car. Several of those came in. My partner, sergeant, my narcotics unit was hit twice, once in the leg, once in the hip. Still is not completely recovered. We ended up, one of my other detectives, who's actually related to Sergeant Coleman, to kind of talk about the family of it. He's in the back seat. I expected that he was dead based upon the amount of gunfire we took. However, we were able to return some fire, put enough fire on the threat to get us out of there. My sergeant was able to keep us driving, which is a big part of it, to get us out of the neighborhood. And then other guys that were working, some of my guys saw the bad guys getting in the cars. Other cops that were working, some of our SWAT guys and some of the county guys, because it is that big response. We're able to locate those guys, got into a vehicle pursuit with them, ended up catching, I think, 6 of them, recovered a number of guns, and there were some bad career offenders. So, sorry, didn't mean to go on so long.
All right, thank you. Okay, we are coming to the end. What we're going to be doing for this part, we again over the process, we collected some thank you messages from the participants, from the visitors of the page. So they submitted their thank you messages, and also thank you videos. So I will read a couple of them as an example. Go ahead and visit the page after we finalize for the rest of the year, and we'll be sharing all the thank you messages and video in a second. Will be ready for us to watch, and after that, you feel free to go. You can have a conversation with our guests and recipients. If you want, you can take pictures together. So, one message from one of my students, Nicholas Frey here. I would like to thank any first responders who takes the time out on the day to put someone's life before theirs. It takes a lot of courage and pride to take on such an important role. From another student, I would like to thank to all first responders for what they do daily. Thank you for always being there for people that needs you, and for doing whatever you can to make sure they are okay. Stay strong and don't give up. So there are 50 more of messages here, and if we can set up the screen for some video messages. It's going to be end of the panel. Thank you for being here. We have this thank you bags for the recipients and also for panelists. Please take one when you are leaving. I don't want to keep here busy. And that will be ending of the panel. Thank you for coming. Thank you for submitting question nominations and supporting this event and showing your appreciation. This is important. This is what we need to do, and reminding us. And if you guys are going to be somewhere in there, don't forget to ask more about like how to become a police officer, how to become a first responder. This institution, Black Hawk College, has lots of programs for you guys to be good at on that journey, if you will. We'll be happy to answer your questions. Go ahead and visit pages that pages we will prepare for you, and feel free to grab one of them and ask questions and have another appointment to talk more. All right. Thank you.